Hello there. I am Father Clement Paul, parish priest of Our Lady of the Rosary Church, Verdun, St. John, in the island of Barbados, in the Caribbean. I think it's a privilege that I can share with you some reflections at this season, inviting us to reflect on the words, "He suffered, died, and was buried on the third day." These words come from what is called the Creed, and especially the Apostles' Creed, the teaching or the belief or the expression of faith of Catholics and Anglicans, and in some cases, Methodists and Moravians. What we do there is we are expressing what we really believe, that Jesus Christ suffered, died, was buried, and rose again. What the churches have done, we have taken a human experience, the human being Jesus. We have taken his human experience of being born of the Virgin Mary, suffered under Pontius Pilate, was crucified, died, and was buried, and that he rose on the third day. We've taken that experience of those experiences of Jesus and making them into a liturgy, into a way of putting God in them. And why is this happening? So that as we reflect on the words, as we make present what happened so long ago to Jesus physically and in his own time, we're saying, while we worship God and thank God for the example he set, we are also making those experiences present. So as we say the words, he suffered, we think of our own suffering. We're meant to think of our own sufferings and the sufferings of others. To think of people who are suffering, who are bereaved, who are struggling with broken families, bad health, or ill health is a better word, can we say, who have lost in one way or another. And they're suffering, they're going through their own agony. And we're asking, where is God in that? When we do that, we're uniting that suffering with the words he suffered under Pontius Pilate. He was crucified. We think of the crucifixion. He was crucified. Now that's the excruciating one. Crucified. In other words, he died in a cruel death, a death of immense pain. And again, we are thinking of Jesus, but we're not only of Jesus 2,000 years ago, we're thinking of Jesus today. We're thinking of the many people who are dying as a result of cancer, as a result of old age, as a result of being persecuted, as a result of brokenheartedness. You just name the excruciating pain that people are going through and unite that with Jesus. That's the thing, that we be making Jesus' experience present in and through people who are going through exactly, or in some cases even more, but they're going through this and they're seeing this in the light of Jesus. So he's crucified, he died. And we're thinking of that, our Lord died. And I love that hymn. I think of that hymn, and there's a beautiful hymn that says, he died that we might be forgiven. He died to make us good, that we might go at last to heaven, saved by his precious blood. He died. And we never know, maybe the death of other people can also be that those whom they left behind can be forgiven. So think about that now, the death of Jesus, him dying for us all. That's the meaning of him dying for us, so that when we can die, our death will not be in vain.
above all power, above all kings, above all nature and all created things, above all wisdom and all the ways of man. You were here before the world began. Above all kingdoms, above all thrones, above all wonders the world has ever known, above all wealth and treasures of the earth, there's no way to measure what you're worth. Crucified, laid behind the stone, you live to die, rejected and alone, like a rose trampled on the ground. You took the fall and thought of me above all.
Above all powers, above all kings, above all nature and all created things, above all wisdom and all the ways of man. You were here before the world began. Above all kingdoms, above all thrones, above all wonders the world has ever known, above all wealth and the treasures of the earth, there's no way to measure what you're worth. Crucified, laid behind the stone, you live to die, rejected and alone, like a rose trampled on the ground. You took the fall and thought of me above. Crucified, laid behind the stone, you live to die, rejected and alone, like a rose trampled on the ground. You took the fall and thought of me above all.
Like a rose trampled on the ground, you took the fall and thought of me above all.
So he suffered, died, and was buried. Yes, he was buried. That must be a very painful experience for people who have to bury their loved ones. Mary had to see her son being buried. We think of mothers who have to bury their children. But we think of children who have to bury their parents. We think of spouses who have to bury their loved ones. It's an excruciating experience. But hopefully, because that doesn't stop, his doesn't stop there, it doesn't stop at he suffered and was buried. Amen. It says on the third day. And so hopefully, as we say these words, and as people go through their burial situation, as they bury loved ones, that they will be able to say on the third day. And that third day is not just Saturday, Sunday, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It doesn't have to know. It is the third day means, the big day. On the big day, he rose again. He conquered death by rising. And we're praying that those who are burying or have buried loved ones and are feeling the emptiness, feeling the loneliness, have the memories, that they'll be able to remember the words on the third day, on the big day, that they too will rise again. Yes, please, as we go through the Paschal mystery, which is the suffering, dying, and rising of Jesus, as we relive these experiences, it'll be so good if you can place yourself in those experiences. Then those experiences will not be history. They will not be a recalling. There'll be an experiencing of our own passion, of our own dying. And of course, St. Paul himself said that. He says, I die daily. And we do. Every day brings us closer to that ultimate death. But the important thing is that whatever happens, we keep remembering on the third day that he rose again in accordance with the scriptures. And if he rose again on the third day, we will rise again. We will rise again as surely we rise from sleep day after day to face another day. So the third day we will rise again in glory everlasting. So may God bless us. May God bless us as we find that life has become so tedious and burdensome, that there have been all kinds of suffering around us, the tragedies around us. May we, I pray hard, that may we keep remembering that death has been conquered. That the temptation is to wonder, where is God in all this? Please, let us remember, death has been conquered. And in the most dramatic way, death was conquered by the giver of life, literally embracing that death, destroying it, and rising. And it's that resurrection that destroyed the finality of death. Just please remember that. As you continue to face death situations, remember on the third day. May God bless you. May the risen Lord be for you an Alleluia, Lord. And may, even as we say, he suffered, died, and was buried, may we keep remembering on the third day. God bless you.